Every thought deserves its moment. This is Overthinking Out Loud. Grab a drink, lean in, and let's overthink it together. Out loud.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Overthinking Out Loud with Jess and Jamie. Today, we're talking a little bit about New Year's resolutions and goals.
Yeah.
Considering we're jumping into 2025 and it's beginning of January. What are we doing?
I feel like now's the time, mid-December, nearing Christmas is when everybody starts talking about New Year's resolutions, or I see all the posts about, ending the year and looking forward to next year and all these motivational quotes and things like that. So seems like the perfect time.
Yeah. And there's always a mad dash in January too. We're all like, oh God, this month we have to figure this out.
Right. I got to figure out my whole life in 1 month. It almost feels like.
Yeah. So when it comes to goals and New Year's resolutions, I think it's kind of there are some unpopular opinions about it and popular opinions.
Sure.
It's probably actually just split down the middle, I'd say. Some people hate it. Mm-hmm. Some people love it. Are you a lover or a hater of New Year's resolutions?
Hands down a hater.
I
know. I'm a hater. And let me...
Yeah, you got to tell us why.
Now I have to explain myself to the other half. I think I've noticed that people get forced into having one. Mm. And that's a societal pressure, peer pressure type of forcing, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I used to be that person, I have to have a resolution, or I have to do dry January, or I have to do something. And it's I don't have to do anything.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have to do
anything. But so I think that is one aspect of it. So I don't necessarily call it a New Year's resolution. Mm-hmm. I almost think of it as a mindset reframing, and more of a, how do I want to show up next year? Mm-hmm. What goals in my own self that I can control do I want to do? And it doesn't have to be physical. It's not I want to go to the gym more and those types of things, where it's more of that feels more pressurized to me than it is being mm-hmm. I want to, find something that I really enjoy. I want to find something that, I don't know, makes me happy, even though it's the same thing. Or I want to help X, Y, and Z. I want more of those types of value-driven things versus and mindset things. Or it's and maybe another example would be I want to, stop looking. This is kind of dark, actually. That's popping in my head. But
do tell.
It's when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're I don't want to talk bad about myself anymore. I want to be just happy in my own skin. What are the steps I need for that? Mm-hmm. And if you're exploring therapy, just go do it. I know it's a tough thing to find therapy and do all that stuff. But anyways, I'm a mindset driven New Year's Eve person, not necessarily a
internal type of stuff versus external
physical
things you could be doing.
And that's a year-long thing. It's not okay, I got to go to the gym. I'm going to take advantage of these $5 first month deal at the gym. And then it's so chaotic, and it almost seems like a sales play to me. Mm-hmm. Utilizing these New Year's resolutions for businesses is totally a salesy thing. I just scream sales.
Oh yeah. I think New Year's resolutions, that whole concept, was just created by people who are trying to sell you things, that they want you to think you need.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's but do you actually need it? And if you actually do, cool. More power to you, but don't give in to the sales tactics. That's what grosses me out. Mm-hmm. And that's probably why I'm a naysayer.
Yeah.
Versus no, I'm actually going to do this for myself. But okay, what is yours? Because are you, wait, what is it? Are you a naysayer or a hater or a lover?
I feel I'm torn. I mean, I do set goals. I don't really say my New Year's resolutions. I do set goals.
Yeah.
And over the years, that's kind of changed because I am so hard on myself and I have really high expectations. And if I don't reach the goals that I set for myself, then I just beat myself up. And it's like, well, what's the point of that? Like, oh, I just set goals in January so I could beat myself up in June. Like, no thanks. So
that's so true though, too. It's like, yeah, like how rigid are your goals? You know, did you put a timeline? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. And so while, I mean, I do think that it can be really good and beneficial. And I guess it's just like depends on the individual. It helps me, but I do like relaxed goals now.
Yeah.
I kind of just will sit and doodle and be like, oh, like, what do I want to focus on? I also pick a word for the year that drives like overall what I'm doing.
Okay. I love that.
So this year literally forgot what it was.
Okay, we're undecided on the word.
2024, the word is no idea because I forgot. But like I've done like resilience before, or like authenticity.
Yeah.
This year, going into 2025, I picked my word last month, and it's creativity.
I love that.
For me, I don't know. It's kind of a psychological thing. As soon as I pick my word, I feel like I start like kind of living into it and immediately start doing stuff.
Yeah.
And like after I picked that word, it was kind of like we started doing a podcast, and you know, I started doing cooking videos that I have yet to post because I'm a little embarrassed about them. One day. And just doing like other things, getting myself out of my comfort zone. I started like doing little clay magnets.
I know I saw, they were awesome. I was so like, because I've tried to do it and it's hard. Okay.
It was a weird thing. Like I didn't even know I had the skill set because I'm like, I can't paint, I can't draw. I like just not one of those creative people, at least like with my hands.
Yeah.
And I just started making these little clay magnets, just copying what I saw on Pinterest. I was like, wait, I'm actually like not bad at this.
No, it was so, I wish I brought it today, but I was like, oh my God, it literally felt like you'd buy it at like a boutique shop. So
yeah, I'm going to start making little clay earrings and stuff, little hot dog earrings.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Why not?
But yeah, so like I pick a word and then I try to just like go off of that word and see how that word makes me feel and like what I want to do based off that.
How do you pick your word? Is it just like
it's usually like based off of self-reflection.
Yeah.
I think I picked creativity because not that I don't think I'm already a creative person, but I think like with the creativity, it kind of, there's this other part of me that doesn't want to show people that I am creative, or like I get really insecure about sharing those things. So I'll do creative things, but then just like never tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
Like I've literally, like I'm in the middle of writing a pilot episode for a show with one of my friends in New Mexico.
No way.
I've been like writing a straight up novel, but I just don't tell people about this stuff because I feel weird like sharing it.
It doesn't surprise me at all, honestly. Like it really doesn't.
And so like with the word creativity, I was like, okay, like this year it's creativity, but also mixed a little bit with the vulnerability of like, I need to start sharing these things with people and like sharing who I am, because I think I tend to serve people up this like, what's this word? Like polished version of myself a lot. And like only my close friends and family like know that side of me.
Yeah.
Like know that I can do random things, or I like doing things. Like you and I like making TikToks together.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing though. It's like, I think a lot of people are embarrassed to take the next step and not necessarily like you have to share, but it's also like, that is a part of me. Like I am a creative person. I'm silly. I like to try new things and I want to show that part of myself. Right. But again, that world can be very judgmental. You know, like if you're not perfect at it, or if you're like those types of things where like people expect that like if you're going to put something out there that it has to be perfect, that it has to be like X, Y, and Z. So I totally relate and understand that putting yourself out there in like a creative way is really tough.
Yeah.
So
I do also think, though, a lot of it is that you expect people to judge it and think it's not perfect.
That's true. It's not
like, there are people who are definitely going to be like, oh, that sucks. Like, or, like, usually it's a stranger who's insecure about themselves and, they're going to say something mean or think something mean. But usually it's like you expect people to like think that you suck.
Yeah, that is true. Like, it's not, I forget what the word about that is. It's like your own internal thoughts telling you it. It may not actually be true, right? Mm-hmm. So that's like where the fear comes in. It's like, so you have to be able to like overcome that fear and just being like, I don't care what anybody says. And honestly, it probably is going to be totally fine.
Yeah. Do you have any like, I don't want to say goals. Yeah. Do you have any like vibes you want going into 2025?
Like goals too. I should like goal. Yeah, I guess my goals and vibes and like maybe like I want to say manifestation, but that's the wrong word. But anyways, goals, vibes, like outlooks for the year for 25. I really like creativity. That's a really good one because it's also like allows you to kind of like step outside of your like normal day to day of like responsibilities and stuff. Like being creative and like thinking outside the box just allows you to kind of like get out of the daily like things and like being so professional and being so like rigid in your like routine. So I love creativity. I'm not going to steal yours. So let me think.
I mean, you can if you want.
I'm not going to steal yours. I was thinking about it actually. And it's very much about like letting things happen almost and not trying to like be so rigid in the things that are happening around me. Like, I think I've learned boundaries through therapy and things like that for the past couple of years. And I think I've like overused the boundaries. Oh,
you've had like rigid boundaries.
Yeah, like I've like, no, absolutely not. Like I've been like a hard ass about it. And I think it's good to teach people where you're at, but then now it's almost just like, I think I've overcorrected.
Yes. Overdid it.
Yeah. Overcorrected. That's a good one. Overcorrected almost to be, it's almost like training a dog where it's like, you gotta train.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, okay, like we can pull the reins back a little bit because like, I feel like I've really like set a tone, but yeah, I think I definitely overcorrected in a lot of part of my life. And so I'm trying to like find that compromise and like really be like, no, it's like, let these things happen, but also like having those skills in the back of your head to be able to put those boundaries back in place or like be able to have those, but be a little bit less rigid is probably what I'm looking for.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Like I think of like boundaries and stuff like that as like a fence, like a, like my fence currently is like little tiny wood slats and some things get in, but I want it to be more of like a chain link fence, where like the holes are a little bigger and just few things come in.
Yeah.
So a little bit less.
That's good.
Like enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Cause I feel like sometimes the wall just goes straight up. And I'm just like,
yeah, because you want to protect yourself.
Yeah. I think it's more of like that thing versus now I'm like, okay, no, like I have the skills to like take whatever's coming at me and like take it time by time versus like the wall is up for everybody.
Yeah. 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 Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah. I think that there's a lot that can come from, relaxing your boundaries a little bit, not like totally.
No.
Not totally.
Yeah. But,
even in terms of like allowing your personality come through with like certain people in your life.
Exactly.
That's like I'm big on like boundaries with that.
Yeah.
Like literally only certain people, like you and like obviously my other close friends and family like know me, but
yeah. It's true. It's hard to be vulnerable without getting hurt, right? And like if you've been hurt in the past and what have you, it's like you don't want to let that side out. But it's the year of
the dog. I don't know. What year is it actually?
I don't know.
The dragon.
The dragon. Oh, man,
I'm making this up. I actually don't know.
Isn't there like look that up.
Fact check myself.
Is it the dragon? I think there's also like a rooster, but I feel like rooster happened already. I
Let's see.
yeah.
Snake.
Oh,
It's a good one for my husband. He loves snakes.
okay. I'm here for that. That feels.
Yeah, feels good.
Yeah, it feels like I was gonna say like swanky. Like here's a snake.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but I can't wait to look at it.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to all that too much. Not that I don't think that it like plays into things, but I just don't really, follow that. And again, like I said, my goals are pretty lax. I have tried to do the rigid stuff. Like even this year, actually, I tried to set a goal to cook like one new thing per month, and I just could not do it. And then I started to beat myself up and caught myself because I've worked really hard to not be so intense about not reaching a goal. And so a lot of times I'll readjust. I'll look like, oh, okay, it's 4 months into the year. Definitely have not been like doing that goal. So I'll readjust and say, okay, well, maybe I can't do this every month anymore.
Mhm.
It's just not working out for me. What if I just do it like once per season?
Yeah.
And I do a themed seasonal type of dish or whatever.
Yeah.
So I believe in being more lax and just readjusting, because like, what's the point in being so mean to yourself? It literally goes against the whole thing.
The point. The point of the goal is to like
grow and like try new things, or I guess, well, it depends, but I think it's to grow and to become a better version of yourself. And
try something new.
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Beating yourself up over not reaching a goal is the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, because then you're going to end up hating working on that thing because you're like, oh my God, I'm mad at myself. And it's like, why? Or how about you, like when you feel like the want to do it, just do it. Just like,
actually, that is a really hard thing about goals and New Year's resolutions, is that you want to, like, what's the word? You were just talking about it.
Like,
literally no thoughts in my head right now. This is embarrassing. You said something, I was like, haha.
Oh my God.
Never mind.
Okay, I also low-key just forgot what I said.
See? I don't know. I think I started the panic, and then the panic set into you too.
The panic came in.
Yeah.
The panic came in. No, what was I actually saying? This was going to happen at one point.
It was going to happen at one point.
It was going to happen.
Well.
Well, oh no, you're going to get mad at yourself. You're going to get mad at yourself.
No, it's still gone. It's still gone.
All right, we're going to move on to that.
Yeah.
But I think, there is a lot of guilt sometimes when you don't, achieve those things. And that's what I mean, honestly, like in my life, I don't have a lot of goals. I also don't have a lot of routine, which is a low-key problem. But like, I can't get myself to follow a routine day in and day out. Like, it actually makes me feel like I'm in a box and like claustrophobic. So I go by feel. I'm like, do I want to ride my Peloton today? Yeah, sure. Okay. Like, actually, this is a funny story. Literally yesterday, I was like, okay, I need to wash my hair. I need to do all these things. And I go like turn on my shower, and I was like staring at myself in the mirror. And I was like, my hair's already dirty. Might as well just jump on the Peloton. And so I just turned off the shower, put on my workout clothes, and jumped on the Peloton.
That's how
I live my life in the moment. Like, if I don't have like a meeting or like an appointment or like anything like that, I go by vibes and feel and just like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just do that.
But that's good though, because I think when you set, again, like rigid goals or routines, it starts to feel like a job, which is actually what I was going to say earlier. That's what
we made it
back to me. Yeah, we made it back. But it does. It starts to feel like a job, and you start to hate the thing that you set out to get really good at.
Exactly.
People who set like physical or like exercise goals.
Sure.
They start to hate exercising because it feels like a job, and they don't want to do it. Which, I mean, exercising is a hard one for me because I literally hate exercising so much.
Point blank, period.
I know that it's good for me, but I hate it.
I have yet to find like a physical activity that I absolutely love. Like I will find something about it that I hate. I will actually like self-sabotage myself.
You like hiking? What do you hate about hiking?
It takes too long.
Oh yeah.
I love it when
All the trails are so long.
It's so long. But like I can't, a mile is nothing. I'm like in and out in 2 seconds. So like it has to be 3 to 5.
Yeah.
And then it gets too long.
Yeah.
And then I get bored.
I get that.
So that's, but I love it and I do it.
Yeah.
For example, like cycling, when I do the Peloton, I only go to one instructor because all the rest of them make me want to literally gouge my eyes out. They're so annoying, except for one.
Yeah.
And so I only go to their class. And so that's annoying. And then when I go to my Pilates class, like some of the instructors are good, some are not, but like I like when they like push a little bit harder and like it actually hurts versus some of them you just kind of lay on the reformer and you're like, wah, 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 wah. And it's like, it has to be pushing up and down. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like I'll go, but I'm not like challenged by any means.
Yeah.
So I went to a tangent there about workout classes, but
no, but it is true though. Like I have an issue with if I'm not in a structured class, I can't work out for more than like 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes is pretty much like my breaking point. I work out at home a lot and I just can't do it. I can't. But I've started running. So my husband and I are doing the Couch to 5K, like, what is it? Training?
Okay.
Or no, it's Couch to Marathon. Sorry, Couch not 5K. Couch to full on marathon. I used to love running, but now I have like a bad knee. So
like when you get into your 30s, you're like, ow, that fucking hurts.
Yeah. But that is, I guess, one of my loose goals for next year is to be able to maybe do like a full marathon. That seems excessive.
Yeah, maybe.
But maybe a half marathon.
Yeah.
And not even competing in one, just doing it on my own to say that I like, hey, I've run 13 miles. Yeah, 13 miles.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
I was looking at the little sheet and in a couple of weeks, I have to do an 18-mile run on a Sunday.
Oof.
And it says, if you can't get to 18 miles within 3 hours, stop the run. And
so they essentially want you to run for 3 hours straight.
Yeah. And I said to my husband, like, you actually expect me to run for 3 hours? 3 hours of my day running.
Consistently. No stopping, no getting a beer,
consistently. But it is one of my goals. So in 2025, apparently I'm going to try to get there at some point.
But like what you mentioned actually struck me. It was like, I also feel like not necessarily New Year's resolutions, but goals. Like the goalpost keeps moving. Mm-hmm. Like you mentioned, oh, maybe not a full marathon, but a half. It's like half is still great. You know what I mean? Like, why do we have to continue moving the goalpost to the next furthest goal? Like, why can't we just be cool with what we made and we're like, sick, I did it.
Yeah, and just being flexible with it.
Flexible.
Okay, yeah, so maybe I'm supposed to run a whole marathon after this training, but it doesn't mean that I have to. Right. Like, I can still be proud of myself for running a half marathon, understanding my limitations, which is that I have a really bad knee.
Right.
And I literally have to like soak it and massage it and put all the CBD ointment on it every time I run.
Correct. It's like, why can't we just like know it works for us and be okay with that? And knowing like our own bodies and our own like mindsets and like what works for us and still be able to put goals in for whatever makes sense and that are achievable, achievable goals.
Yeah.
It's fine. We don't need to have the same goals. Like each of us don't need to have the same goals. Like, it's good to have a buddy, right? Like you and your husband are doing the run thing together, but he could be shooting for a full marathon. You could be shooting for a half, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
He's shooting for an ultra, which I will never do.
Isn't that 100 miles?
It's like a double marathon or something.
Oh my God.
He's trying to do the like rim to rim to rim. Yeah, at the Grand Canyon. So you start at one end of the rim, you go to the other end of the rim, and then you come back. It's like 50 miles. It's going to be a no from me, dog.
Yeah, like, no.
That's something that, it's great to watch people like push the boundaries of what it is to be human in the Olympics and stuff. It's like humans are crazy and amazing. And also it's not for me.
No, and that's okay.
And that's okay. Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Do you ever feel pressured by the people around you to set goals? Because I know not like people are actively telling me I have to set goals or have a New Year's resolution or whatever, but it just, this time of year automatically starts coming up in conversation and people start asking like, oh, what are your goals? Or here are my goals. And for me, I start to think, oh, I should probably start thinking like, I should probably get on board with that or do something.
I definitely have those moments of where I'm like, are my quote goals or my vibes good enough to share with this person? Like, am I going to share with this person like what I actually feel? And they're going to be like, oh, that's it. Like, and I'm like, oh, like,
you're like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And you're like, I just go on the vibe, which actually to me sounds incredible.
I'm vibing.
I honestly think people would be jealous of you.
I'm just vibing.
Yeah. I just got on the vibe. Yeah.
I think that's more of what it is. And I think people would look at me like I have 5 heads. But
yeah, you're also probably like a billion times happier than them anyway.
I would like, you know what? I would like to think so.
No, but it's great to think about it.
It's good to think about. So I do feel like the pressure of like living up to like whatever everybody else is doing. And I think that comes a lot from like looking on social media and the things that people post. And like January is like a heavy like peer pressure month for me. Because it's like people are posting what their year was like, and they're like, these are all the things I did this year. And it's like a glamorization of their entire year, and which is great. Please, like, so happy for you. But at the end of the day, you like, I feel like it's good to know that like, if you have a perfect year, like I'm so jealous of you. If you like, if you're like looked at your and you're like, wow, this is amazing and the best year ever. And you know,
yes. Okay, so I have made those little like videos or picture slideshows before. Guilty. And on the one hand, it is super, I think it's beneficial to reflect on your year and realize how much you did, how much you accomplished, all the cool things that you experienced. Even if you didn't travel or didn't have any big changes or shifts in your life, you still, I guarantee people can go through their camera roll and find like, hey, oh, I forgot I did that thing. Like I think it's fun.
I think,
But at the same time, 2 years ago, I posted this video of, just, I think it was like a slideshow with music of everything I did that year. And it looked so great and amazing. And I also got fired that year from a job. Like, I didn't put that in the camera roll. All my sobbing, and trying to find a new job. It was first time I ever got fired. And it was a really dumb reason that that's a story for another time. I did not deserve it, but
we did not deserve it.
But I posted this video like, oh my God, I loved this year. Meanwhile, I'm just crying at home, trying to find a new job. It's unrealistic.
It again, nobody's posting that real side of it. And not that you have to, but I think that it could be a side of vulnerability to show to the world, be like, yeah, I mean, I did have, all in all, if I look at it holistically, I did have a good year, right? Like, it's good to recognize like all the things that you have done in the year, which I love doing. But then at the same time, also recognizing like, wow, this year was also low key heavy. Like a lot of shit happened, but I persevered and like being okay with the things that happened, but also I was able to move past it. Like, look at all the pivots that you had to make. Look at all the roadblocks you hopped over. Like, all those things are also important. I just think that the glamorization on social media is only about the good things. And it's like, what if you feel like somebody's good things isn't good enough than your good things? Right?
Yeah, you start like comparing. Hardcore.
It's actually one of my friends, she told me, she goes, I just wish I traveled like you did. Like, you're going to so many places. I just feel like I'm stuck and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, look, like, I do travel a lot for work and I'm very proud of the work I do. But like, some of these things that I do post about my work, like, I cried at that event. I was so That event was one of the hardest fucking events I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. I was working 16-hour days.
Yeah, and I'm in a taxi in New York City bawling my eyes out. Okay, it's a glamorization. Even I do it. I'm super guilty of it as well. And they're like, oh, and they glamorize my life because that's how I show it. And I'm like,
they look at your feet and they're like, oh my gosh, Jess lives the best life ever.
Yeah, I'm like, look at all the places she gets to go and look at all the events she does. She's so happy. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, when I look back, sure. But in the moment, no.
In the moment, it was tough.
In the moment, it was low key. I want just see ya.
Yeah, I think in 2025, I'm going to still do a reel or slideshow of my year, but I'm also going to do a second post with pictures of every time I cried in 2025. So people can see that, there's some pros and cons.
Right? You're like, happy picture, sad picture, happy picture, sad.
Yeah. Just a slideshow of me sobbing. different scenarios.
There was one, oh my God, actually, I'm not laughing at your sadness. I'm just laughing that I would actually think that's relatable. There was a influencer I followed last year, and I actually low-key stole her. No, what is it last year? Almost 2 years ago. My God, I can't believe it was 2 years ago. And I stole her idea anyways. But I know, right? I'm like, ooh, sorry. But her handle is Twist of Lemons. I think it's still Twist of Lemons. And she's just like a relatable, influencer or whatever. And her post was all of the things I didn't accomplish in X year.
Oh, so you did the same thing.
I did the same thing. Yeah. I was like, things I didn't accomplish. And it was actually, I was like, oh, I love this. It's like, yeah, I had all these things in mind, but I didn't. And I'm reflecting on the fact that I didn't. But at the same time, I'm self-aware enough to learn about, what I did and didn't do and what I can potentially work forward and push those goals to 25 or push those goals to 26, those types of things. So I was like, snaps, claps for that. I was like, these are the posts that I want to see.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
What did you not complete in 2025?
Oh,
I'm putting you on the spot.
No.
What's something you didn't do in 2024?
Oh my God. So many things, honestly. So many things. I wanted to first, actually, funny enough, I think the first one was just feeding into work too much. And that means it's just I was so reactionary at work. I felt I was okay, this bad thing happened. I got to fix everything because I was in a new role and I'm in a leadership role. And I felt like I had to fix everybody's problems. Right.
Was your goal initially to be just proactive or chill about things? And
I wanted to be a leader that people could rely on because I never had a mentor. I never really had a manager that I could fully rely on.
Okay. First of all, you are incredibly reliable. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But I never had that. And so I wanted to be that person for the team. And I wanted to be able to jump in and help whenever possible. And I think I almost overextended myself a little bit. I was happy to do it and not a problem, but I think that I enabled and didn't necessarily guide people to their own conclusions. I just fixed the problem. And then that's just so me. I'm
I'll do it.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's good. Don't worry. I got it. And instead of being let's do it together, I took it off their plate, which there's a time and place for that, of course. But I think that it was almost I overdid it a little bit. And I, not just even at work, honestly, everywhere, let's be honest, of I just want to find a solution. I'm so solution based that I'm okay, next. I don't even give myself a chance to feel it. I don't even give myself a chance to or even somebody else a chance to feel it, right? Being okay, here's the problem. Okay, let me just sit with that for a little bit. No, it's okay, solutions, here we go. I'm very much like that and just I have to find the solution first. But I think that I did not do a great job of really coming full term to that, of being reliable, but at the same time being a partner with that person of let's work on this together. What do you think? What do I think? Instead of it just being on me, right? And being like the fixer to every situation instead of just kind of letting it chill for a little bit. So that was one big thing, I think.
Yeah.
But that's 2025. I moved that over.
Yeah.
That's my vibe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start again.
Just push it down, right?
Yeah.
Or it's like a work in progress. Like this year, maybe I was like, I want to get it done, but now I'm like more aware of it.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a fresh start. It can just be a continuation of what you've been doing.
Yeah.
And just like trying to build on that. So
exactly.
You got this. 2025. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. What's one thing that you I feel like you didn't accomplish?
Mine is like a specific goal so I did, like I said, I set goals in the beginning of the year. Like I did not cook once a month. Did not do that. That was, I had good intentions.
Also, cooking is hard. Okay.
Yeah, cooking. I do not enjoy cooking. I wish I did. Our shared family, they're all incredible cooks. Like
Michelin star chefs,
like
honestly.
Chefs. They're so good. And even our husbands who aren't like professional chefs, like aren't trained. Amazing. I don't know how they do it. I hate cooking.
Yes.
I get really angry when I have to cook. I hate the precision of cooking. Especially baking. And I don't like having to like immediately adapt because I'm the kind of person who will look at a recipe and say, yeah, I have all those ingredients. And then once I start making, I'm like, I'm missing 3 ingredients. So I'm just going to do this instead. And I'm going to try that instead. And so it always ends up messed up. And like, I literally do it to myself. But anyway, I'm straying. So I didn't cook. I was going to this freaking novel I've been writing, this story. My goal was to finish it by the end of this year. That's definitely not going to happen.
Okay, wait. Do you want to share what the novel is about?
I won't share too much about it, but basically it's like, I read a lot of like the romance kind of comedy novels.
Smut books.
I wouldn't consider this a smut book.
Okay.
Maybe.
I was like, oh, should you writing a smut
I don't know. That part, the spicy part is hard for me to write because like I know how to write it, but then I feel weird writing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I actually put myself in an author's side a couple of times where I've been reading and I was like, could you imagine like writing, like literally writing this out?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and then I start thinking like, oh, like if my mom reads this, I think I gotta like rethink that.
No, you just need an alias, like an author alias.
Yeah. Pen name.
Yeah, pen name. That's what they call it.
So yeah, it's based off of like the novels that I like to read, which is kind of like romance, fun, kind of people our age situation.
Yeah.
So I wrote a decent amount. Like I've written 50 pages in Word, which is actually, I Googled it, actually about like close to 100 pages of an actual book. So
that's halfway through at least, if not more.
I got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But didn't complete that. And it's just something I'm going to continue to work on in 2025.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish it at some point.
Well, you've gone pretty far already. And I feel like that's a really good point. It's like, if you even worked on it a little bit, that's still great. Yeah. Like you set aside the time to try to accomplish the goal. And that is good enough.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I think the big thing that people have to remember is that it's an accomplishment if you stopped talking about it and actually tried to do it or did it.
It's left the group chat, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, it left the group chat and it like started happening. And so I have to be proud of what I've accomplished so far and know that like it never would have happened if I hadn't just said, I'm just going to try this. I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. Yeah. And I still have a long way to go, but it's like, again, it's just another skill set that I'm working on and I enjoy doing. So
it's perfect. I mean, it's like, you are enough. Like even today, if you have no goal and you are enough. It's fine. Mm-hmm. I think that's like, there's so much pressure around everything that it's like, you're good. I think as long as you are happy, truly happy, and I'm thinking about things that change and then you act upon it,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We definitely live in a world in which it's like not really acceptable to just be content with where you're at in life.
Yes.
You always have to be doing something new or working on a skill or, you know, have all these, again, these New Year's resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually totally fine to say, I'm pretty happy with my life right now. Actually, that is a huge accomplishment.
It really is. To be content.
That is my, like, I'm reaching for that.
My
where I can
enlightenment.
say, you know what? I don't need to work on anything. My life is perfect.
Literally. Honestly, like that is goals. Like the highest goal, right? It's like to be so happy with where you're at and the things that you accomplished, to be like, I feel good. I feel good, you know? And I'm sure some people are probably thinking like, no, you always need to be working on something. And that's like literally the point that we're trying to prove. That's like not true.
Yeah, it's not true. Also, it does not matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as you're happy, as long as, you know, you look at yourself and you look at your values and you're like, no, I think I'm good. I think I'm chilling. You know?
I think I'm chilling.
Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah, one day.
One day.
We'll get there. For now, we still have words and vibes that we're going off of. So
yeah, we're in our 30s. We got goal. We still got things to work. We got stuff. We got stuff.
I have a really good hot take this week based off of my my cooking endeavors.
Okay.
So while I appreciate the work people put into their recipe websites,
I know this.
I think I might lose my mind if I have to read one more 50-page essay online before I can get to the recipe. Like, it's crazy to me. I once saw a meme online that said something about, somebody could literally confess to murdering somebody in their recipe blog and no one would even know because everybody just skips it.
The skip to recipe.
Yeah. The jump to recipe button is the best thing that they could have ever done because the anger I feel when I have to scroll through this giant, again, like essay on how they found this recipe.
It's literally, and it also has nothing to do with it. Like, I think I've read a few where it's like, my great-great-grandmother grew up in the X era and, you know, she passed down a lot of recipes to me and blah, blah, blah. But that's not this. I made something new. And it's like,
this is my recipe. F you, Nana.
Like, literally, I'm just like, oh, okay, what a turn of events. Like,
yeah. Or they just like do some like crazy thing where they're like, my husband is in prison and like, you know, he told me about this like mashed potato recipe in the cafeteria there and I decided to make it myself. Like, okay.
Prison meal at home.
Yeah.
I want to be closer to him, so I made my own prison meal.
No, but like it's just so like people just want the recipe. They just want the recipe. You know, I miss the old, you know, like when you ask your mom for a recipe, they have this, it's like written in cursive. You can barely read it on just a scrap of paper that they ripped out of a book. It's like this big, you know, and it's just exactly what's in it. It doesn't even tell you how to make it, just the ingredients. And you're like, cool, I can deal with this. Like my mom, every once in a while I'll ask her for a recipe and she sends me this, again, it's like a little ripped out piece of paper with just some scribbles on it. I'm like, perfect. Yeah, and she's got the best recipes. But
I could deal with this.
The online Pinterest telling a story thing, like I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's I also would love to understand where it came from. Like who was the first person to put their life story on a recipe blog?
Yeah.
I just want to know.
And also, if you're a person who reads the entire recipe blog, I want to know. I want to know who you are and how you do it. And like why.
The spiciest one, like I want to know like the ones who are like, whoa. And then the ones that you're just like, what?
Yeah.
What would what?
Yeah, right. I make this dessert for my husband and I in the bedroom. Like, it's like spicy.
Write that in your novel.
Right.
See, you should, oh my God, you should have one of your pages be a recipe, like a blog. So good.
Yeah, I should write a story about like a recipe blog writer.
Yeah, you should.
Who like gets this like anonymous commenter.
Ooh,
Love your work.
Love your
and then
work.
it just becomes like a online interaction
Romance.
thing. You got mail style, but through this recipe blog.
Oh, that's book number 2.
Yeah. Don't steal my ideas.
Stop! Don't do that. We know it came from us.
Yeah.
But also, like, these people have to monetize off this because of the amount of ads on these things. They have to monetize.
Yeah,
and I want to know how much money they make. I genuinely want to know.
Yeah.
It's pop up here, pop up there, banner, and I'm just like, where is
like
recipe?
and then the little X, especially on Pinterest, the little X to close it is so small that then you just keep accidentally pressing the ad and going to a new page. Oh, it makes me so angry.
You're just like, what? And then you go back, and then the pop up again. You're like, I'm not gonna press that this time.
Yeah. Not only do I have to scroll through your life story, I also have to scroll through 50 ads.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the tactic is they're like, if the longer this recipe blog is, the more ads like pop into it.
Oh, right. Like, yeah, it's like, how many, like, what's the data?
Yeah.
How many ads you need to make money? And then it's like, how long does a person need to be on your page in order to make more money? Maybe these people are actually geniuses.
Yeah. Maybe we should start a recipe blog.
Genuinely.
We'll just
put our deepest, darkest secrets in there.
Yeah, just like every once in a while, slip something in.
Jump to secret.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah, those
2025.
2025. There we go. With another one. Yeah, but those things are ridiculous. And probably one of the top reasons why I don't cook either.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is too much.
You know what you do need to do? Is put your coleslaw recipe out there for the world.
That's my mom's coleslaw recipe. Which also is like a variation of my uncle's coleslaw recipe. It's like a whole thing.
Wow. Family tree.
I know.
Coleslaw.
I should get my mom to start publishing her recipes because she's good.
Is she good?
She makes me look bad. Yeah.
She makes me look bad.
Yeah. Literally everyone I know, even my sisters can cook.
Really?
My dad and I, nothing. No skills. No skills.
Like,
my dad once tried to make me, my mom was like out of town on a field trip with my sister. And he tried to make mac and cheese and hot dogs and like literally couldn't do it. I had to take over.
No.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
Yeah, it is bad. I take after him.
I think like I literally can only make mac and cheese really well. I can make a mean mac and cheese from the box. Only.
We need to do that.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's from the box. Yeah, no, I don't do
mac and cheese.
Annie's craft. I'm not above craft. I'm not above it. Above it. But you make the sauce first. Like you boil. Okay. Try it. Also read the directions on the box because it tells you to do this. But I feel like people don't do it. Where you boil the noodles, right? Take it out, put it in the strainer. You leave it in the strainer for a little bit. Then when the pot is hot, that's where you put the butter first. So it melts a little bit. Then you put enough milk or whatever you use just to coat the bottom of the pan. Like just enough. So it's not too soupy. Like if the sauce is too soupy, bleh. And then you pour the cheese in and then you stir it on it so it gets like an actual sauce. Because then when you put the noodles on, perfectly coats.
Yeah, I should have just dumped the powder right on top of the noodles and then it gets all chunky. I'm like, why is it chunky?
You got to do it opposite. That is my trade secret.
Ooh,
I'm making boxed mac and cheese.
Well, put that in a blog.
Now you have to look at how to make boxed mac and cheese. It's mine. That's my blog post.
Yeah.
With my secret.
Things that are just like really easy to cook.
Yeah, that's all I can do. And I do it well.
Yeah. Well, would love to hear from all of you, like what your goals are for 2025, or if you just don't even have any.
Yeah, what are your vibes?
What's your vibe? Maybe there's nothing, or maybe there's something you just want to continue doing.
Yeah, we want to hear it. We want to hear it all.
Yeah, let us know.
Maybe we'll get inspired. I want to get inspired.
Yeah, something unique and different.
Yeah, or not.
Yeah. Or not. Whatever floats your boat. All right, y'all. We'll see you next time.
Bye.